Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something that could genuinely change your workday, Microsoft 365 Copilot. And it's easy to miss this, but it's not just another feature, is it? It feels like a whole new way to tackle, the sheer amount of information we get hit with, turning that flood of emails and meetings into something useful, freeing you up for the work that really matters. So our mission today, we're going to boil down the key stuff from Microsoft's own training materials on Copilot, give you a bit of a shortcut to really getting the hang of this AI.
Yeah, and it's incredibly relevant right now. I mean, the amount of work, the pace of it, it's just ballooning. Think about it, the average heavy M365 user. They're searching for stuff 18 times a day, getting over 250 emails, sending or reading almost 150 chats.
Yeah.
And meetings people using Teams are in 3 times more meetings weekly than they were just back in 2020. It's huge. Some folks juggle like 11 apps in one day just to keep up. So yeah, this isn't just a tool. AI is really changing how we work, how we lead, even how we hire.
Wow, that really paints a picture. Okay, so given all that pressure cooker environment, what is Copilot actually designed to do for us?
Well, fundamentally, it's about lifting some of that weight, making you more efficient with tasks, with collaboration. It works by connecting these powerful large language models, LLMs, to your Microsoft 365 apps, but also crucially to your data, your emails, reports, presentations, all of it. So it can help you, create things, edit content, answer questions you have, summarize long documents, even catch you up on meetings or emails you missed. It's not just automation, though. It's really designed to augment what we can do as humans to kind of boost our own ingenuity.
Augmenting ingenuity. I like that. Microsoft's researchers actually have this interesting sports analogy for how AI can work with us, don't they?
They do, yeah. It's quite useful. They suggest thinking about it in a few ways. One end is like a steroid. Gives you that short-term sort of superhuman boost. Offloads work instantly, like drafting an email super fast or banging out some social media copy. Quick hit. Then, in the middle, AI is more like a high-quality running shoe. It helps you speed through those routine, maybe tedious tasks. It's like cleaning up data, reformatting stuff. It makes you faster now, frees up time, but without any, long-term side effects.
Yeah.
But the really exciting part, the most transformative potential, is when AI acts like a coach. This is where it's not just doing things for you, but actually improving your own skills over time. If it's designed and used thoughtfully, these tools can really enhance your abilities, leading to, well, pretty unprecedented productivity gains.
So it's less about outsourcing the task and more about upskilling yourself with the tool. That's a different way of thinking about it. What does that mean for how we need to learn and adapt them?
Yeah, it really shifts the focus. It becomes less about just using a tool and more like partnering with it. Your job becomes more about the strategy, about guiding the AI effectively, rather than just the raw execution. It means you can hopefully free up that mental bandwidth from the mundane stuff, trying to piece together what happened in that meeting you missed or wading through email chains. And instead, you focus on the substance, the why behind your work. This isn't just learning a new app. It's about building genuinely new, more effective habits at work,
All right.
leveraging that coaching aspect.
Okay, so we see the potential, how it could almost be a partner, but like any good partnership, communication is key, right? Which brings us to the really critical part, how you actually talk to Copilot, the art and science of the prompt.
Exactly. That's absolutely crucial. What you get out really does depend on how you ask. The sources break down a good prompt into 4 core parts. You always need the goal. That's simply what you want Copilot to do. But for better results, you layer in context, relevant details about, the situation or the outcome you're aiming for. Then, expectations. How should it respond? Think about audience, tone, format. And finally, source. What specific information or example should it draw from? Files, emails, dates.
Right. So a simple one might just use goal and source. Write a summary based on all emails from Sam in the past 2 weeks. Pretty direct. But if you need something more tailored, you could combine goal, context, and expectations. Draft an outline for a time management training manual. The audience is hybrid professionals juggling virtual meetings and deadlines. Keep the tone friendly and suggestive. Much richer.
It's just like asking a colleague for help, isn't it? You give them background, point them to the right info. Same idea here. The quality you get back is directly tied to what you put in. And this is key. Unlike old school search, where you use keywords, with Copilot, being descriptive, giving it more detail, usually gets you way better results.
Okay, let's break down how to build that really effective prompt then. First big one. Start with the end in mind. Be really specific about the output. Do you want bullet points? An essay? An email draft? Maybe just ideas to kick off brainstorming. And remember, this AI is good at imitating. So give it examples. Write this email casually or make this memo very structured. Long paragraphs are fine. Second, set the stage. Give it context. What's the background? Why do you need this? Prepping for a client meeting, writing a big company announcement, let Copilot know, mention the client name, the specific project. We're so used to just typing a few keywords into a search bar, right, and then wading through links. But here, being more descriptive pays off. Third, define parameters. It's not always strictly needed, but telling it which information sources to use, like specific files, or focusing only on emails after a certain date, or referencing a particular meeting, that almost always gets you sharper results.
And a really useful tip here, don't hesitate to ask Copilot how it got an answer. It's like in math class when the teacher says, show your work. When AI tools give you something weird or maybe even wrong, gotta ask it. How did you arrive at that? Or can you explain your reasoning? It helps you understand and sometimes helps it correct itself.
That's smart. Okay, and the fourth element, tailor the delivery. State your expectations for the response. Who's the audience? What tone should it use? This often means explaining who you are in this context. Explain this like I'm a beginner coder or I'm a busy VP. Just give me the absolute top takeaways. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of actually wording the prompts. First up, be clear and concise. Less ambiguity means better, more accurate results. There's a good example in the source material about some new printers, Contoso 3D printers. A good prompt is okay. Draft an email about our new Contoso 3D printers. Or better, adds audience. Draft an email introducing our new Contoso 3D printers to our customers. But best, nails it. Draft an email detailing the features of our new Contoso 3D printers, which launch next week. Include a link to the product page. See the difference. Yeah, you can see how starting vague, like summarize this meeting, can evolve into something much more useful, like analyze this meeting transcript and summarize it, focusing on Susan's key points. Or instead of just make this shorter, try rewrite the intro and conclusion of this doc to be more concise, but keep the main arguments. Specificity wins. Another good practice. Use positive instructions. Tell Copilot what you want it to do rather than what not to do. Like, if the user mentions budget, then include the cost section. Those if-then statements can work well. And again, give examples if you can. AI learns fast from examples. Also, experiment with different styles. Don't be afraid to ask for a specific tone: neutral, casual, formal. Or language type, like explain this so someone without a technical background can understand. You can even get creative. Ask for analogies, poems, maybe even historical comparisons. What historical event could illustrate the main point of this document? Could spark something interesting. And finally, for wording, give Copilot a point of view, help it role play, tell it who it should be or who you are. You're a social media manager writing for LinkedIn. Or explain how to solve this problem as if you were a Harvard business professor.
Okay, so we know what works well. What should we avoid when prompting? Definitely avoid vagueness. That just leads to generic, unhelpful answers. Don't overcomplicate a single prompt. If you have multiple complex requests, break them down. Don't try to cram everything into one go. And don't make assumptions. Copilot doesn't usually remember context from previous separate chats or interactions unless you're continuing within the exact same session.
Yeah.
So reestablish context if needed.
Right, that makes sense. Now, there was a kind of surprising point in the sources about politeness, saying please and thank you to an AI.
Yeah, it sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? It's not like the AI has feelings or appreciates it. But the thinking is, these LLMs are trained on vast amounts of human conversation, so they tend to mirror the style of the input. If you're clear, professional, maybe even use those polite phrases, the output often tends to be more respectful, collaborative, and sometimes even more responsive and performant.
So being polite might actually get you better results, almost like it encourages the AI to be a better collaborator.
Kind of. It subtly reinforces good interaction habits.
All right.
And it ties into being curious, too. If you approach it like a conversation, asking preliminary questions, trying to understand things better before you give the final instruction, you often get better results. It fosters that growth mindset you need when working with these tools.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so politeness, curiosity. What happens when the first try isn't quite right? Which, let's be honest, happens.
Absolutely. And the key here is iterate, iterate, iterate. Your first prompt is almost never the final word. Think of it as a conversation. You ask, Copilot responds, you get feedback, it refines, it's dynamic. As you provide more detail, more context, maybe correct it, it learns what you want, and you often learn more about what you actually need too.
So you can literally tell it, that sentence is too vague, be more specific, or thanks, that version's much better.
Exactly. Provide that feedback. The source material has a good example with creating a presentation storyboard.
You might start broad. Create a storyboard for a 60-minute keynote for salespeople about our new sustainability approach. Use these files for background. Then Copilot gives you a draft and you iterate. Okay, add a key message summarizing each section at the end. Or maybe That plan looks good, but I need more detail on why a salesperson should care about this specific issue. And you keep refining. Copilot doesn't get tired or frustrated, so ask for variations. Give me 10 different ideas for the opening paragraph, or rewrite this section in 5 different styles.
Yeah, the training materials really emphasize this with their exercises. There's one on include details, showing how a basic request for a blog post on sustainable agriculture becomes much richer when you add word count, specific examples, and source requirements. Another, structure your prompts, shows how changing the order of instructions can impact the result. And iterate and regenerate clearly demonstrates refining a technical article through follow-up prompts. It's all about that back and forth.
Okay, we've really hammered home the importance of prompting. Makes sense, it's how you interact. But what if you need Copilot to do things that aren't standard? Can you extend its capabilities?
Yes, absolutely. That's a whole other layer of power. Extensibility options basically let Copilot connect to other tools you use, pull in data from outside Microsoft 365, or even automate more complex tasks. It customizes Copilot for your specific needs.
Right, like giving it extra tools or access. What kinds of options are we talking about?
Well, the sources lay out a few main types. First, there are declarative agents. Think of these as simple custom assistants. You can build yourself no coding needed for specific tasks, maybe within Copilot Chat or SharePoint, like a quick summarizer for your team's project reports. Then you have API plugins. These let Copilot talk to other software, maybe pull data from your sales CRM or a project management tool directly into your Copilot interaction. Graph connectors are important too. They essentially pipe data from other systems into Microsoft Graph, which is like the brain connecting all your M365 data, making that external information visible and usable by Copilot. For collaboration, there are Teams message extensions letting you do quick Copilot searches or actions right within a Teams chat. And for the really complex stuff, or for your IT folks, there's Copilot Studio. That's a full platform for developers to build sophisticated automated agents that can handle multi-step processes across different applications, like sending follow-up emails and updating database records automatically after a call.
Okay, lots of options there. How do you know which one to use?
It really boils down to what you're trying to achieve. Need a simple custom chat helper for your team. Declarative agents are probably the way to go. Need to bring in data from Salesforce or Jira. Look at API plugins or graph connectors. Want quick actions inside Teams. Message extensions. Need a complex automated workflow spanning multiple apps. That's where Copilot Studio really shines.
Got it. So we've covered getting the most out of Copilot through prompting and even extending it, but using such a powerful tool effectively also means using it wisely, right? Let's talk about best practices for just general usage.
Yes, that's vital. Copilot is amazing, but you need a discerning approach. Rule number 1, trust but verify. Always review what Copilot gives you. Check it for accuracy, make sure it meets professional standards. Human oversight is non-negotiable. Second, provide regular feedback. Use those thumbs up, thumbs down buttons, add comments. This helps the system improve, both for you and everyone else. It keeps it aligned with what's actually useful. Third, and this is crucial, avoid over-reliance. Copilot is a fantastic assistant, but it's not a replacement for your own judgment, your critical thinking, your expertise. Build on its suggestions, don't just blindly accept them. Fourth, unlock your creativity. Don't just use it for boring tasks. Push its boundaries. Experiment with weird prompts. See if it can spark new ideas or give you fresh perspectives. Fifth, prioritize privacy and security. Be mindful of what data you're feeding it, especially if it's sensitive or confidential, even with all the built-in security measures. And finally, stay updated. This technology is evolving incredibly fast. New features, better performance. Make an effort to adapt your habits and learn what's new.
That trust but verify point feels really key, and understanding its limitations is part of that, isn't it? Knowing what it can't do well helps you prompt better and use it more effectively.
Exactly. It's powerful, but not magic. So know the limitations. For instance, if a task is really complex for a human to do manually, chances are Copilot will struggle too. So break down complex tasks into smaller, more manageable steps for it. Also, optimize for repetition. It's generally much better and more efficient at handling simple, repetitive tasks that you need done multiple times. Remember that ambiguity is its enemy. Vague prompts lead to vague or wrong answers. Be specific. Understand that responses can seem random sometimes. The same prompt might give you slightly different answers if you run it again. That's the nature of generative AI. And critically, be aware that LLMs can sometimes produce unacceptable responses. This could be biased content, offensive language, factually incorrect information, or just harmful stuff. User validation isn't just recommended, it's imperative.
Okay, so wrapping all this up then, it seems the core message is pretty clear. Mastering how you ask the prompting, and then taking a smart, critical approach to what you get back. That's the heart of making Copilot work for you, boosting your productivity and avoiding the potential downsides.
That's it, exactly. And thinking longer term, connecting back to that coach idea. As AI keeps evolving, moving beyond just being a steroid or a running shoe and becoming more of a true partner in developing our capabilities, how might that change how we even think about intelligence or creativity? What new kinds of problems could we tackle if we each had an assistant, a coach, that never got tired, never ran out of energy?
That is definitely something to think about. A really provocative question for the future. We really hope you can take these insights, tray them out, and continue your own deep dive into making AI work for you. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.